Hello and welcome to Ring Takes here. I'm joined by Brian and Lewis as always, my co-host. I'm Daniel. Thank you guys for joining me. We are on episode 78, looking at AEW's big pay-per-view. They're still calling it pay-per-views at least.
PLE,
This
sir.
weekend, All Out. Big event there. We'll be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about our Raw recap and also Raw going to 2 hours. Let's get into it. Let's start off with probably the main event of All Out. Hangman Page defeating Swerve Strickland in a lights out cage match. This match was pretty intense. Cinder blocks, needles. What are you guys' thoughts on this match? That was pretty gnarly. Crazy on the night for All Out.
Intense is not the word. We need a more deeper word than
let me look it up.
Grotesque.
You could say grotesque. You could say a whole bunch of
Inhumane.
No, that's the word, Lewis. Inhumane. That's what this match was. And Daniel mentioned one of the items, the cinder block. Like all I keep thinking about, one of those things I was thinking about as far as this match goes was the cinder block, and the fact that that was a legit cinder block they were using. It wasn't that crap that WWE used to do when you with it and just explode.
So you're saying Seth Rollins didn't crush John Moxley's head into that cinder block? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. But this match was just crazy. It's just spot after spot. In the very beginning with the staple gun and Hangman and Swerve no selling when Hangman was stapling his chest.
I forgot about the staple gun. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, which from a story perspective made sense because their Texas Death Match, the staple gun actually played a huge role in that match. So a lot of these matches they were calling back to a lot of like spots and stuff from their previous encounters. And then, of course, the end. I mean, with the syringe. I'll say this much because people critique the syringe and pretty much the violent nature in general of not only this match but the whole entire pay-per-view. When I see people complaining about that stuff, that lets me know that whenever fans are complaining about PG and about how the rating needs to go up to 14 and about how they want the Attitude Era back, everyone's really full of shit when they say all that because
there's levels, Brian. There's levels.
You gotta say you want more edgier content, and I guess where do you draw the line between having more edgier content and what we got from this pay-per-view? Like I think that's the problem. Where do you draw that line between being more edgier?
There's no line in AEW at least.
Exactly. In
AEW, there's syringes, there's flamethrowers. It's Saints Row on steroids.
Apparently, I saw on the reports that the finish happened the way it happened because I guess Swerve is apparently taking some time off, from being world champion, and then they wanted to finish the feud with Hangman Page. So now Swerve is going to go off and rest and relax and recuperate. I mean, he did have a very successful run with the AEW title, so good for Swerve. But this match was just gnarly, just spot after spot. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why. When I heard the lights out steel cage match, I was like, please don't tell me this is gonna be like Bray
the
Wyatt.
Audience has no light. That's what I thought of at first.
Yeah, the black whatever, like this shit better not be in the fucking dark or something. I don't know why they would call it a lights out. Like,
I mean, I know. Just before you continue, Lewis, they pretty much use lights out as unsanctioned. So they've done it before with other matches. They've had like other lights out matches where the lights turn off, turn back on. Then Justin Roberts does his ring introduction and say this match is unsanctioned. AEW is not responsible. So they've used that.
Yeah, I was very much anticipating this match just because of the long-term storytelling with the whole thing. Obviously from how that feud started to the with that Texas death match that I don't mind the brutality, and I thought that Texas death match was amazing because just the spots and how they did everything.
There was no drinking of blood.
And I think in the same fashion, Swerve choked out Hangman and passed out, I believe, to like win that match. And then you got the same thing in this one. You know, I already knew the carnage was coming. I did think the syringe spot was a bit much. I'm not gonna lie. I probably was one of those people. I was like, yo, they're doing too much. I'm like, you know, but it's, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm like, how different is that compared to when Randy took like Jeff Hardy's ear and like twisted it with a freaking like screwdriver, you know?
Tommy Dreamer special. Because Tommy Dreamer has some stuff like that.
Like this is just a needle. I mean, it's not like he ripped out his like lip or some ridiculousness. It was just like, you know, they poked it through, whatever.
If I'm correct, the needle went through his mouth from the inside out, right?
It's like it's kind of like, you know, when you like do the piercing with like a hoop. It's like they want like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's not like, you know, he split
Still
his
crazy.
lip or some crazy
Still
shit,
crazy, but
you know?
yeah.
Which I'm like, you get injections.
But this is what we expect from AEW, right? With the brutality and stuff like that. And of course, AEW with this feud, they're invested in it with, right? They're trying to get Hangman Page back into the title picture. It looks like Swerve Strickland has been one of the best performers for the past year or so. And AEW usually builds up its feuds to continue, kind of like how WWE is doing with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which we'll be talking about later. But they usually build up the brutality. They try to one up the stage before, so you don't compare it to the last match, right? In terms of, you just know it's better than the last match. And I think that's what AEW is doing with these type of matches, especially with just how it started in the blood feud and them going after each other's families, the burning of the house that he recently bought, which was a crazy touch of that. But what do you guys think about Hangman Page afterwards? His kind of looking back at the carnage and the lengths that he had to go through. What did you guys make of that at the end?
I thought it was great storytelling.
Yeah. No, it was great storytelling, and I actually thought that they would follow it up tonight on Dynamite, but they really didn't. I mean, Hangman had a backstage promo where he pretty much said that, like, he did what he did, and that anybody that was in his way to prevent him from what he did, he's going after now. So I think he pretty much had a backstage segment where he's walking backstage and he's like running into people that kind of like got in his way during that period. One of them being Jeff Jarrett, and then Jeff Jarrett cut a promo on him saying, "Yeah, you can go down this dark path if you want, but it's all it's going to do is end up in negativity for you." And then Hangman attacked Jeff Jarrett. So I don't know if that's the new direction now with Jeff Jarrett, but they really didn't like really didn't build or sell the whole feeling remorseful or anything for what he had to do to Swerve or anything.
Because he's a bad guy, right?
He can't feel any remorse at this point. Yeah. You know, just because I really like this story because they made it seem real and like very personal. And it's just like, I think this is probably one of the best stories that AEW has done in like a while, where it was like there's a lot of different elements to it. You know, you got Swerve going to his home, you know, breaking in, seeing his daughter, this and that. And, you know, Hangman kind of just going down this downward spiral after all that. You know, he lost the Texas Death Match, and then coming back, he didn't win the Owen Hart tournament. He also lost. He didn't get the Casino Royale thing that Christian Cage won. So it's just like he had to do something. And then with costing him the title, and then all this, it was just like, I'm coming after you no matter what. It doesn't matter what the hell I got to do. And I thought the burning of the house thing was just another like huge layer and factor. He's like,
the ante.
The ante basically. Which is, you know, we knew what we were getting out of this match, and I think this is how you make shit personal. This is how you build up a feud. You know, I'm not saying every feud needs to be like this, but this is like how you get people excited for the ending of the feud, I guess.
And I think this is a way that there was we didn't hear any rumblings about backstage or some drill drama behind the scenes. It's like these are two guys who agreed to do this, agreed to put on a show, and that's a good thing for AEW, right? Like no backstage bullshit, no personal beef. Even though it played that out like that on screen, now Swerve goes away for a little bit. Hangman Page is back in the limelight, so good main event for AEW. Good way you step forward, and I think they went all out, and hopefully Hangman Page can continue to build off of this and continue to go forward. Maybe challenge for the title soon. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's get into the AEW World Title picture. Bryan Danielson retains his AEW World Title, but then is betrayed by the Blackpool Combat Club. What do you guys make of this match between Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry in the aftermath?
All right, so the match itself was good until the referee got knocked down. For me personally, because as soon as the referee got knocked down, I'm like, okay, here comes the AEW run-ins and the AEW foolishness.
WTW.
You know the Bucks were gonna come out. You know they were gonna get involved. The match was good. I mean, the fact that Bryan Danielson is now that final countdown is his theme now until the end. Love that because the crowd still loves Bryan Danielson. Jack Perry. I think we all can agree that we didn't think that he was the ideal opponent for Bryan's first title defense. Even though they tried their hardest to build it up, but we all knew that Jack wasn't credible enough for Bryan Danielson. Even with all the run-ins and everything that they tried to do to give off the impression that Jack Perry had a shot. I mean, we all knew where it was going. It was a good match, but then we got to the end, and we got what we got with Moxley and the Black. First of all, the actual betrayal in of itself with Claudio hitting the uppercut and then Bryan Danielson looking up at him so befuddled. Yeah. I actually like that. Story. Yeah. It's like you're not even selling the fact he hit you. You're just surprised that he hit you because Claudio uppercuts, they're pretty stiff. So the fact that he act like he's hurt, he's just looking at him like, dude really hit me with an uppercut. And then obviously John Moxley on his Tyrese Four Brothers shit, putting the back, putting the plastic bag over his head. I think that's the first time at a professional wrestling event you heard the crowd chant, "This is murder."
Yeah.
Arson, attempted murder. What's next? You already have assault and battery.
Dismemberment is next.
Yeah. So apparently, in watching a little bit of Dynamite tonight, so this is a new group now. It's going to be Mox, Marina Shafir, Claudio, and Pac. So Wheeler Yuta is pretty much on the outs right now. They're pretty much saying that he didn't know that the attack was coming, and we saw Pac was holding him back, keeping him from going to save Bryan Danielson. So it seemed like he was kind of on the outs, and the story had been told that Moxley was looking for Darby Allin. They had a face-to-face promo, and pretty much Moxley challenged Darby Allin for his title shots. I think Darby Allin had won.
TBS.
He won. Yeah, not for the world title. I think he had won something, and he's the number one contender for the world title at Grand Slam. And Moxley pretty much called him out for his title shot at Grand Slam. So I think the match was going to be at Wrestle Dream. The match was going to be at Wrestle Dream, but he's calling them out at Grand Slam for the title shot. So that's definitely going to be interesting moving forward. But I do think that as much as people were complaining about it being excessive, I do think this is the one time where I do agree with everyone. This is the one time where it's like you didn't have to go this far. I mean, people. The way I look at it is just like, yo, bro, people actually dying from shit like that. Like people got kidnapped, whether it's kidnapping or robbing people's homes. Like, bro, this is what people do. They actually come up from behind, suffocate the hell out of you so they can go do whatever. So
I'm gonna say this.
A little excessive on that.
Where else was John Moxley supposed to go? We seen him go through glass. We seen him busted open. He had to up the ante. That's what AEW is about. It's about upping the ante. Come on, guys. You got guys burning down homes.
I mean, where do you go from here, though? This dude trying to suffocate somebody, so it's like, what's he gonna do? Just stab him now? Stab, shoot, like.
No, it's gonna be WrestleMania 15 Boss Man hanging from the cell.
To a damn harness.
But yeah, as soon as I saw the plastic bag, I was like, "What the hell is going on?" This was the one moment I was like story wise, or I get shock value. Whatever. I mean, it is something different, but like it's
needed.
And you're literally looking like you're attempting to murder this man right now. I get you're trying to incapacitate him, but what happened to just a good old fashioned like beat down, hit him with your finisher, whatever, make him bleed if you want, put him through the table, like. I guess that's just too standard now. Now we
mean normal wrestling stuff, actions.
Hey, maybe this is John trying to create a new character now. You know,
apparently. But I thought this. Jack Perry built himself up to be a heel. Daniel Bryan needed to fight. Bryan Danielson needed to face somebody, right? Christian Cage has the contract that he tried to cash in, but wasn't able to in the match. You got Swerve not getting his rematch, basically, kind of in that program. He's going to be written off and stuff like that. So you have to find somebody. The match was what it was. We knew Bryan Danielson was going to win. The attack afterwards, Blackpool Combat Club has been around since 2022, roughly. You got Bryan Danielson, who recently joined the group. He wasn't a part of the initial stable, was he?
He was. When they put the group together, it started with Mox and Danielson having a feud because I think Danielson wanted to be in a stable with Mox.
Yeah.
And then Mox was like, "Well, if we're gonna be together, then we need to bleed together first."
Yeah. That's what it was.
Crazy initiation, but from this group with William Regal departing and stuff like that, kind of being in limbo, everyone kind of being in limbo, and they couldn't just keep doing these multi-man tag matches with the Blackpool Combat Club for over the past year. So they definitely needed a new direction. I understand the breakup. I think Jon Moxley could be a good heel. His actions in the ring, the way he talks. Daniel Bryan needs somebody, a good opponent. Makes sense to me. Makes sense as Bryan Danielson's going on his way out, that he fights an uphill battle to keep the title going his way out, right?
He's bringing back his Bane persona from WWE.
Oh, not the gas mask in the front. Did he have that on Dynamite tonight, Brian?
He did not. He did not. Thank God. Okay.
I remember it's definitely
injections or whatever.
Oh man. Well, you can't use two needles on the night, Lewis. You can only use one at a time.
Maybe the next promo.
I would say for the lights out match. But no, man, this is Bryan Danielson's next course of action, right? Well, until they always do this, right? They always have the main contender go after like some mid-card title or something like that. Like they make them fight at Fyter Fest or something, and then they get to the title. I don't know. just weird. But that's AEW booking for you. Everybody has to go after a belt, even when they're going after a belt.
I mean, there's supposed to be an alternative, right?
An alternative belt, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving on here. 2 belts. Monet defeats Hikaru Shida. Did I say that right?
Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida. God damn it.
That's actually a lot better than the
God damn it. But what do you guys make of this match? Mercedes Monet retaining her, what is it, TBS title that was on the line against Shida.
All right. So this was I'll say it was a good match because people forget that Hikaru Shida I think she was the first 2-time AEW Women's Champion. People forget she was holding the company down during the pandemic. She was the Women's Champion during the pandemic and having some very good matches that just weren't in front of an audience. So And this was during the time where like Britt Baker was hurt, and like the women's division really was suffering, and it seemed like she was the only one that was actually putting on banger matches and carrying the division. So people forget about that when it comes to her, because they were saying that she didn't even deserve to be in this match. And it's like, you guys forget it, forget what she's already done with the title. But it was very good. It was a very good match. Definitely better than Mercedes' match with Britt and All In.
She's actually a 3-time AEW Women's Champion. I'm just looking.
Three-time AEW champion. Even more of a reason why why I don't understand the disdain for her being in this match. But to talk about our Mercedes. It's funny. Some people online were kind of poking fun at her attire, saying that it was pretty much a replica of Zelina Vega's pretty much saying that she's saying much calling her a
Timu Zelina Vega.
It was also funny too, because people were saying that this match clearly shows that she's divorced because her husband was the designer.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, you guys, okay, come on, guys. You guys gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Not making her gear anymore.
I was like, come on, guys. You guys gotta stop. I mean, it wasn't her best attire, no, but she still gets it. She still gets it done in ring. But other than that, it was a very good match. I mean, I'm curious to see who's next. Like Daniel, you said like a whole bunch of times when she first signed. I mean, everybody wanted her and Britt. Now that they got her and Britt, it's like, okay, now what? So it's like, if she's not going after the AEW Women's title now at this point, it's just like, what else do you do? What else do you do with her? Who else can step up against her where it's interesting?
I think what they're doing with the TBS title, I think they're trying to erase Jade Cargill's reign. Kind of like how they did with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, how they have those reigns and stuff like that, where they try to expunge their existence. So I think she's going to hold on to this title for a while. I think that they're using her to do that, and I don't
hope
know
not, because she needs to be. No, she needs to be going after the main event title. Like, I don't think she should have a lengthy reign with the TBS title, because it's like,
I will say this:
who is she gonna fight next? Willow again, or what? Just Chris Statlander, and then Willow gets involved, and then there's a triple threat.
I wouldn't be mad at a Willow Mercedes Moné program again. I wouldn't be mad at that if they actually had a feud and back to back. But it's just like she needs to be in the main event. But ultimately, I'm going to say this about this: the match was pretty solid, but her finisher, get rid of it. Find something else.
Yeah,
she's not strong enough. She's not physically opposing enough.
And the thing is, you could tell that she's trying to be different with it, but it just doesn't work.
It's like an unnecessary setup. It's like to put her on your back, to then fling her back to the front, to then hit her with a knee. It's just like,
just put her on your shoulders and do a TKO.
Or bring back like Victoria and do the.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think she's only hit that move clean once she's come to AEW.
I've only seen it once.
The other time it's been like,
no, I've seen it that's probably like the third time I've seen it.
It's tough, man. It's tough. She's got to do a tombstone. Do something simple.
Yeah, with this match, I already knew Mercedes wasn't going to lose, so I honestly wasn't too invested in the match. I think, when this is one of those where it was like, I already knew this was just like kind of put together just for this pay-per-view, and I knew that Hikaru Shida wasn't going to win the title, so honestly I wasn't too invested in this match, but I'm definitely intrigued to see who she's going to face next. We
shall see, because Willow got, we're going to talk about it. We can talk about that match next. But Willow lost her match against Chris Statlander that we're going to talk about, but I don't know. It looks like the natural progression would be Chris Statlander, but they're both heels, right? So it's like, I don't know what that situation is going to be. But yeah, it's just and it's kind of weird, right? Because the follow-up should have been Britt Baker, right? Why was that just a one-off and not brought back into the fold or anything like that, or maybe they're saving it for later. But it's just weird that you have another pay-per-view following up and they're not facing each other.
They have to run it back. I'm pretty sure Britt and Mercedes were like, this match didn't live up to what it needed to be, so we need to run this back at some point. So
yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But Mercedes Moné retains the TBS championship. We'll see what her next feud is. Let's get into Chris Statlander wins her Chicago street fight against Willow Nightingale, which was a gnarly follow-up after Will Ospreay and Pac. What do you guys make of this matchup?
This was a very good Chicago street fight, especially considering that you had two women involved. I mean, I don't want to say that things got as extreme as they did in the two main event matches. They kind of, with the exception of obviously the thumbtacks, the split thumbtack spot. But we all agreed that was kind of creative.
I've never seen the tax used like that before.
We've never seen something like that before.
I saw the highlights before I got a glimpse at the match.
That's pretty risky. That's a pretty risky move to do either way.
Yeah, pretty risky, but as far as the match goes, they were all over the place. They went up the ramp. I think Chris Statlander like speared Willow off the stage through a set of tables. I think there was a spot where Willow hit Chris Statlander with light tubes. Now, anytime I see light tubes, I think of two things: GCW and Nick Gage, because he's the one that started that.
He's the pioneer.
He's the pioneer of light tubes. So anytime I see them, I just immediately think of him, and I'm thinking, and I always think, how the hell do you gimmick light tubes? You can't, right? So I always try to think, if they're using light tubes and hitting each other with light tubes, how do you gimmick that? If you don't gimmick it, then how are y'all not fucked up after getting hit by them? But anyway, I digress. But
you gotta start doing some investigative work.
But it was a good match that had the finish was very, very good too. I mean, with them striking each other, and then they both kind of like collapsed into each other's arms at the end. And then a couple of false finishes, and then eventually Chris Statlander using that chain to choke Willow out. So I thought that was a good finish. I thought that was a good finish, and it was a very good street fight, especially considering the participants.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely a lot of great spots, like you mentioned, the light tubes. I was pretty surprised by that. I thought either somebody was coming out to help her, Stokely was there. But the light tubes was a nice touch. I love that spot with the thumbtacks. Like, that was very creative and unique. I feel like you haven't seen a spot like that in a long time. But yeah, overall great match. I mean, I don't know what their numbers against each other. Like, I know Willow's beating Chris once. Obviously, this is Chris Statlander beating her. So it's like, are we gonna get one more for like a definitive 2 out of 3? So I'd be excited to see it again. Maybe a steel cage match, maybe some other extreme conditions they could put. But I think Willow's definitely up in her game, even though she lost. Like, I think she's definitely become very much a crowd favorite. And Chris Statlander she's actually doing great as a heel right now. I wish they would do more with her. Like, maybe she'll get another win, and this will kind of elevate her a little bit more to get back into that title hunt.
This match reminded me of Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, and all the hardcore stuff they were doing. And so it just looks like this is just another continuation. And women in hardcore matches, you don't get that a lot, but in AEW you get them. But it's just like seeing it is always going to be wow, and especially the new innovative ways that they're trying to set the bar in those matches. It's like you're always worried about their safety, but they're handling it pretty good. I thought it was an impressive match from those two women, and kudos to them for even doing that with the light tubes and the thumbtacks and going through the tables. Willow got hit in her head, of course, when Statlander flipped off the top rope there and caught her in the head. Luckily, she was okay.
That spot. Yeah, if she rolls off the table the other way, then it would have looked better. But the fact that she rolled off where her legs were, it was like, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was pretty bad. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Chris Statlander. She got the big one in that street fight, so we'll see where she goes from there. Let's move on to Okada defeating Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Takeshita for the AEW Continental Championship. What do you guys make of this match? Okada continued to rack up wins. Pretty self-explanatory. I didn't think anybody was going to beat him in this match, but what do you guys think of the match?
This match was good, but unfortunately, this match was a waste of everybody's time. Now, the participants that were involved, I think it was Jay Briscoe, Okada, Orange Cassidy, and Takeshita. So obviously, the talent of all four guys is undeniable. But again, but it's like there was no reason to care about this match. When I see Okada now, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of everybody else now. I'm just like the Continental Championship is starting to become a crutch. I mean, you signed this guy along with Will Ospreay and Mercedes Moné. He's supposed to be a game changer. So, but he hasn't been booked. He hasn't been booked as one. I mean, he's pretty much been booked as a comedy guy that just says bitch all the time now. And that's literally been the highlight of his run since he's been with AEW. The fact that he says bitch all the time, and it's like, and this guy apparently when he was signed, they said he was a top 3 wrestler in the world, but he's not being booked like it. Yeah, first match he comes in, he wins the Continental Championship, but since then it's been pretty much just running around with the elite, calling people a bitch, and he hasn't been doing anything that reminds you of the Okada in New Japan. And I don't know if that's if that's because there's too many people on the roster for him to move up. I don't know if it's a situation where they're kind of trying to bring him along. I don't know what it is, but this guy needs to be booked in like main title feuds right now. And the fact that you have the Continental Championship in a fatal 4-way that nobody cares about, it's concerning, especially seeing as he was supposed to be a game changer signing for you.
I don't see it as concerning. I think it's more so giving him something to do, because I feel like the title scene and the main event, I mean, look at it. The main event spot of this pay-per-view wasn't the title. It was a major story going into it. Okada really isn't in a major story right now. He's just with the elite. The elites they're the tag champs of the EVPs. They're just being dicks right now. They all got championship gold right now. So I think it's more of he probably should lose that title at some point. I don't want to say I don't really like that title. I feel like, that title was only given because, what's his name? Why am I spacing on his name? Eddie Kingston won the Continental Classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like winning the Continental Classic, should just be that. I don't think it needs to be a title that's defended, So I think it's kind of an unnecessary title.
So are you saying it should be like the King of the Ring?
Basically.
I mean, in a way, they're kind of treating it like that, because they're saying that whoever the Continental Champion is, when they do the Continental Classic again, that person relinquishes the title and then is a part of the Classic again. They do the whole Classic again. Winner gets the championship. So
are they just trying to tie that into like the G1 Classic? Is that basically what they're trying to do?
That's pretty much what's the innovation for it, I guess.
Well, Climax, the G1 Climax.
Yeah, but so that's why I'm saying that the point of like defending it or facing people for it doesn't really make sense if when it comes around you're gonna forfeit it and then the tournament's gonna happen, So it's I feel like it should be treated kind of like the Owen Hart tournament, where like you win it, you get a belt, but it's not like a
main. You get number one contendership,
Or it should be something like that as well. Yeah, honestly. But I like this match. This match, I thought, highlights the talent they have. Freaking, what's his name? Takeshita should be going after the TBS title. He should be going after the international title. Like, he's had so many good matches. I think it's
TNT title.
yeah, like he's had so
been
many classic bangers. I don't know how he doesn't have a title on him at this point. Like I feel like he should easily have the international title.
Yeah,
Easily.
I think they're about to break up him and Don Callis because they had a backstage.
He needs him though, because he doesn't. If you look at like Okada, he doesn't say much, but he has the EVPs with him.
He has charisma.
Yeah, but like Brian said, all he has to say is, he does the flip off to the crowd. He says bitch. Like he's not talking a lot. He just has that flair to him. Takeshita looks like a freaking killer, and the dude's huge and athletic as hell. I feel like he actually benefits a lot from Don Callis, and Don Callis should honestly help him get a title. But I don't know. That's just me. But I thought this match was great. I was kind of hoping Okada would lose, but I don't know. My thing with Okada is like, I don't know, maybe because I didn't watch a lot of his stuff in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting to see what this greatness that he brings. I haven't seen it in the ring. All I've heard is he has a great drop kick. The Rainmaker, it's just
I think what it is.
It's not
I think what it is
clothesline from hell. Like it's nothing too impressive, So
I think what it is that Kenny Omega is not around, and that's the person that we're all kind of waiting to see showcase that. And I think,
but there's plenty of other people who are from that world that can,
absolutely.
In the ring.
But I think that was supposed to be his dance partner, and unfortunately, Kenny got.
I kind of hope that they weren't going to do that because we got everything we got from them in New Japan, and those were some people are considering some of the greatest matches of all time. Granted, it was in New Japan, but they're still ranked. Yeah,
I need to go watch
greatest matches. Yeah, pretty much is Meltzer, but those were some great matches, especially the first one that they had.
Yeah, man, but we'll see what happens with Okada, man. It seems like he's kind of just holding on to that title, and I guess that's a way that you can kind of keep him prestige and people keep eyes on him with the title and stuff like that. So we'll see. He retains here. It didn't look like anybody was going to beat him in that match anyway, so good win for him, good pickup for him. Let's continue moving on to Will Ospreay defeating Pac. What do you guys make of this match? Will Ospreay can't have a bad match, right? Again, yo, it's true. Ospreay cannot have bad matches. Like you can watch a Will Ospreay match and be entertained, and it doesn't even matter who he's in the ring with. But then when he gets in the ring with somebody that can kind of match him athletically, then you get a 5-star classic. Pac was matching him move for move. I loved the finishing sequence when Ospreay went for the I think it's called the storm driver or whatever, when he picked you up and put you on the shoulder, and then Pac kind of reversed it into a Hurricane Rana. And then Ospreay popped out of that, hit him with the hidden blade, and then the match was over. And then everything leading up to that, all the false finishes. I think Pac tried to hit him with a poison runner from the top rope, and then Ospreay flipped out of it, and then hit the hidden blade for a two count. It was like it was a great match. And like I said, Will Ospreay, you're never gonna get a bad match from Will Ospreay, and he can have a great match with anybody. Then you put him in there with somebody who matches him athletically, then you're gonna get an even bigger match, and that's exactly what we got here.
Yeah. I don't know how Pac has not been a world champion yet. I have been rooting for him.
You want to know what it is? He has terrible gimmicks.
He doesn't though.
The bastard as your champion.
Why not? He's a heel.
He's a bastard.
That's like Mr. Ass as your champion.
No, you can't compare that. You get the hell out of here.
It's the nickname, man. I'm telling you.
No, I think the bastard gimmick suits him well. I like his intro. I like the crazy look. And I don't know why I caught myself staring at his haircut, because I was like, how does this dude have these long ass hair and the entire thing of his head is shaved? I was like, where's this hair clinging. It looks like he has nothing on his head, but he has a lot of long hair.
It's a hair
But
race.
the fact is like, yes, he is on a shorter side, but he's he's well built, and then he's fast, he's athletic, looking like, if he was probably Will Ospreay's height, he probably maybe looked at more, but I don't see that as a disadvantage for him. But I just think he's great in the ring, and what he can do in the ring is phenomenal. His reversals, he's also a submission artist as well, as well as aerial, and like Brian said, like he matches Will perfectly in the ring, and that's why like they should have like a trilogy. Honestly, like they need to like have a good back and forth, whether like Pac maybe beats him or pins him in like a multi-tag or something where he doesn't lose them. Maybe he can get another rematch, but like I feel like those two, at least after that match, I'm like they should be going after each other for a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question because it's like Pac has been there for a while now. And it's like, what is he doing in terms? He's having good matches and stuff like that. He's a good hand in the ring, of course, but it's just like, what are they doing with him in terms of getting a title
paired with the Lucha Bros? They've won trios titles. He's just been part of groups, and I think also a couple of injuries have set back as well. But it's like, he's one that, again, probably should have already been going after the international title, should be going after the TBS title, and even given a shot at the AEW World title. But I think like maybe what Brian was alluding to earlier, or maybe I was talking about, was like, I don't know, maybe this is due to a bloated roster. Maybe this is why they have so many titles, because it's like you got so many people that are like worthy, but it's like, where do you place them? And if you got this big story,
where's the ranking system?
How do you keep them on TV and everything? So I don't know.
But he's definitely a good talent in the ring, man. We've seen him in NXT, we've seen him in WWE, and it was just like, yo, why can't he get a push? And even when he goes to AEW, it seems like it's the same thing, but he's hanging with Will Ospreay in the ring. You know what I mean? It's not like he can't go wrestle anybody. It isn't like he can't play the small guy role. It isn't like he can't play a powerhouse role or an intense role or anything like that. And it's just like, what's going on? But what do you guys make about Ricochet getting in the picture there with Will Ospreay?
Ricochet still being Ricochet.
Like literally, like, I mean, like it's like we said before, like I think like we said before, with Ricochet signing with AEW, like it was the best thing for him, because AEW will accentuate his strengths, and his strengths are his athleticism, his high flying ability, all that stuff. He's still the same guy. He's still the same guy on the mic. He still talks the same. So nothing's changed, and it's almost like he's in the same situation almost as Mercedes Moné signing, where it's like he's signed now, but yet people are only expecting one thing, and that's this match, and that's the future match with Will Ospreay, or a future feud with Will Ospreay. Because one could surmise that if it's going to be Ospreay and Ricochet, it can't just be one match. They're like, it has to be like you gotta at least give them like a trilogy or something.
Yeah, exactly.
When that's done, people are going to be looking at Ricochet and say, okay, now that he did that, now what?
He's going to fight Pac. He's going to fight Pac. He just moves on to the next guy his size.
But this is my thing, and I think this is why I said like Ricochet is just still being the same. Like, he should have came in with a different attitude, maybe like more serious, more
Prince
this.
Puma? Prince Puma?
Yeah, I don't care. That probably would have been better. But like he's still, I don't know. I think the way he talks, and it's always just like when he has these interactions with people. Oh yeah, what's up, Playboy? We're gonna see. Like it's like it just doesn't. It's not believable. It's not authentic to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I've always perceived it. And I feel like that's where his weaknesses come, because he's amazing in the ring, can do all these things, but it's like, where's the character? Where's this? Like, where's the heart, passion? Like we know he can go. He's he has all the tools. Sad to say, he's kind of like an Apollo Crews. It's like, dude is Jack Bill can go in the ring, but it's like, where's the character? And it's like,
you're saying he's not Giovanni Vinci, is what you're saying. He doesn't have the pizzazz.
Now let's hold up. Now Apollo in the past has showed some character during the pandemic.
He did. That brief character in NXT,
when there were no fans.
Oh man,
we had that African gimmick, and there were no fans to respond to it, so it came off good. But
I'm sorry, you can't start off in a normal English voice and then all of a sudden start a Nigerian accent. I can't. You can't reverse Kofi Kingston. You can't reverse it.
That was tough. Just
so you guys know, I'm Nigerian and I speak like this in Nigeria. Like you can't do that.
I'm going, Biggie. I am going to crack your fist.
Terrible.
Tough times.
So
Tough times.
But I don't know. I have hope for Ricochet. Maybe his work with Will Ospreay will elevate him, but he's got to do something else on the mic. He's got to do some character work. I don't know. Maybe honestly, I've always wanted to watch Lucha Underground, but I wanted to see what his character was like and how he presented that character. Maybe that would be something he needs to benefit from. I don't know.
He should have went to TNA. That's what he should have done. He should have went to TNA. Yes, he should have. They don't have anybody like him.
No, because then if he went to TNA, he pretty much would be a part of WWE again, and he'd be in NXT. He was part of this partnership.
Is that a bad thing?
It would have been a good thing. I mean, it would have been great for us, but not for him. He probably would have been like, "Yo, I just left here. Why am I back here?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And just on NXT, not even on the main roster.
And exactly, and that's even more hurtful to your pride.
Oh man. Well, let's continue moving on. The Young Bucks retained their AEW tag team titles. Now, in hindsight of where the Blackpool Combat Club is now after the breakup, I don't feel like there's much to say here. The Young Bucks retain. Yeah, they're the elite. Let's continue moving on.
I'm so tired of the Young Bucks.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's just because of their gimmick now, and because of their gimmick kind of like changes the style in which they work.
I'll tell you what it is.
I actually used to look forward to a Young Bucks match. Now I'm just like turned off.
I'll tell you what it is. It's Chris Jericho syndrome. They're on TV all the time, and it's tough to be on TV all the time.
They're the champs right now. They're the tag champs, so they kind of have to be on TV.
They don't need to be the champs.
See, Daniel, you're talking all this stuff about Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho wasn't on this card, and I don't even think Chris Jericho was featured on Dynamite tonight. So you're getting what you want. So you happy now?
That is true. That is true.
He's not here, but he was at All In. Okay, he can't work back to backs like that. He's older now. No, but I think that's what the Young Bucks are suffering. They're on TV. They need to go away for a little bit. Like, go away. It's okay. You guys run the company.
They did go away for a little bit. Remember when they got suspended from the CM Punk fight? They were gone for a little bit.
No way. Oh man. But yeah, not much about that, man. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on to MJF defeating Daniel Garcia. What do you guys make of this match?
It was a good opener. It was a good opener. I mean, definitely as far as the story being told with the I think with the MJF taking out Daniel Garcia, and then kind of how they started the match hot with Daniel Garcia kind of attacking him before the bell, which I thought was very good. And I think MJF ended up coming out on top because, I mean, if you read the dirt sheets, I guess apparently
it's taking time off or something.
Yeah. MJF is taking time off to go film another movie, and Daniel Garcia is not, and apparently hasn't even signed the new deal. His current.
That's what I was wondering. Is he leaving?
They're saying his current contract expires next month, and he hasn't signed an extension or a new deal yet. So that may or may not have played a role. But it was a good match. the angle at the end to take MJF out, the power driver off the top rope, kind of poetic justice scene is that's what MJF did to take Garcia out. But the one thing I'll say is that when MJF does come back, I really hope that he gets back to the world title, because when he was world champion, whether it was as a heel or when he eventually became a babyface, I mean, it was entertaining, and I want to get back to that for MJF. I mean,
you know what the issue is? Is Adam Cole going to come back as a babyface?
Adam Cole needs to go away.
That whole thing was just completely mismanaged and mishandled. That there's no way Adam Cole should have even formed a new group while he was still hurt. They shouldn't have even touched that. As soon as they did the whole angle of him turning on MJF, they should have just had Adam Cole come out, cut a promo about it, and then just disappear entirely until he was healthy, until he was fully healthy again. Because they did the angle, I forget what pay-per-view it was, when MJF came back, when he took out Adam Cole. We haven't seen Adam Cole since. We keep seeing this Undisputed Kingdom with Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and the other guy. Keep forgetting his name off the top of my head. No, we haven't even seen him. No, we haven't even seen Wardlow. Wardlow hasn't even been on. It's
Mike Bennett.
Mike Bennett.
Maria Canales is who I was thinking about.
Mike Bennett, the Kingdom. Yeah, we've only seen him and Roderick Strong. We've yet to see Adam Cole. We haven't seen Wardlow, which is even more of a travesty. But yeah, they completely mismanaged.
Wardlow's done.
It was one of their best. It was one of their best, most entertaining stories of the year with Adam Cole and MJF in the partnership. So they mishandled it.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's up they're doing with some guys. Some guys are looking better than others, but it's just like there's a couple guys that are just wondering what's going on. But it is what it is. Overall, All Out was a good pay-per-view. Had some bangers on there. Had some matches that we wanted to see. And good for AEW, despite all the grotesque moments on the night. It panned out well for them. And maybe they should move towards having these shorter cards. Maybe they should move towards moving the shorter cards. I think it's better for them. A lot of these guys that get a little bit more room to breathe and get their matches out. But good showing from AEW. Get the softball clap for me. Good job, AEW.
Daniel, I should watch the pay-per-view.
Good job, AEW. Good job.
Come on! Show some love. They're about to sign a new TV deal, and everything's about to be great, right?
You mean AEW Shockwave, which is 1 hour on Fox, which is like Sunday Night Heat?
Well, I heard. I don't know. I didn't get to finish it, but rumor is that they're probably getting rid of Rampage. I think
good. They need to. Here's my thing about that story about Fox. Fox censored the fuck out of WWE when they were there. So what do you think they're going to do with AEW? That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's going to happen because Fox is already going to censor the hell out of everything that they do. And AEW is already that indie-rific company that does all those.
They would censor the holy shit chants.
Yeah.
Whatever other chants, like
shut the fuck up and all that stuff that fans be chanting. Yeah, why would I don't think Fox should do that. If WWE was the way it was when it was on Fox, imagine AEW. You should be bleeping out everything.
You can't use glass, needles, flamethrowers, gas, cars, cinder blocks of any kind.
No attempted murders, please.
No crimes, please. But let's keep going on here. Let's get into WWE programming. Let's get into our Raw recap real quick. Bret Hart returns to Raw. It was in Calgary. What do you guys make between the promo of Bret Hart, Gunther, and Sami Zayn coming out? Looking to be Gunther.
Please tell me Gunther had popped everybody when he mentioned Goldberg.
Oh,
please tell me. I know
it was
Ryan
a cheap pop.
Ryan mentioned it in the chat.
Funny enough, I thought he was actually going to say HBK, but when he pulled the trigger and said Goldberg, I laughed. I was like, yo.
Gunther putting on great promos right now.
You don't really know if the people of Canada still hate him or not. I mean, some of them do, some of them don't. So it would have been.
Bret Hart still hates him.
I think they got over. I think they passed that.
No, he like recently said that he's still like he's not gonna forgive him for ending his career and everything. And Goldberg's like, how many times do I need to apologize? At this point, it's like it is what it is.
I'm pretty sure Goldberg wasn't trying to take you out. If Goldberg was trying to take your head off, then it would have been a lot different than what ended up happening. So it's like,
yeah.
Like, dude, how many times could Goldberg? That's why I'm with Goldberg on. It's like, yo, dude, how many times can I tell you I'm sorry? Like, shit, like, what do you want me to do?
It's definitely more. I think it's definitely more envy than anything. It's like, you cut my career short, and then look, you still get to go wrestle,
get paid.
I can't do shit. Like,
yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
But
what do you guys make of? Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as the actual segment goes, anytime Bret Hart, anytime they feature Bret Hart in the segment, I'm always a little nervous about it because Bret's strong suit was never on the mic. I mean, his strong suit was what he did in the ring. So anytime that he does, talk for a little bit, you always have that fear that either he's not going to sound clear and concise or that he might ramble on. But he kept it short and sweet. He gave the crowd the catchphrase. So it was a good segment.
And called Gunther a coward.
Yeah, I said that a couple of times.
No, but what do you guys think of Sami Zayn potentially being Gunther's new challenger?
I mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, story wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Story wise, it makes sense, but I don't know if it's necessarily something that we want to see again. But it makes sense story wise. That's best.
Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be a filler feud. Like, as much as we love Sami, and yes, he was the last person to beat Gunther. He's not taking that title off him. It would be great to see. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to see Sami finally win the World Championship gold.
Mm-hmm.
But Gunther's still too hot right now that he can't lose.
I guess Gunther's great on the mic. He's doing all the great work. Saying Bill Goldberg, it was a cheap pop, but wrestling fans know Bret Hart doesn't like Goldberg, so definitely won everybody over, except for in Calgary and Canada and stuff like that.
I think Calgary hits Goldberg too now because of that shit.
And they also announced,
Calgary feels the same way about Goldberg because of that.
They also announced that War Games will be in Vancouver, so maybe that's where Sami does the deed. Maybe that's where Sami does the deed. They've been stretching out these title matches a little bit, prolonging the program. So maybe that's where it happens. Would be a great night for Sami, even though it's not.
Okay, so if that's the case, then he's not going to be in War Games then with the Bloodline, because then if it's in Canada, he's going to overshadow it. So he's not going to be in it now.
True. I don't know if anything can overshadow the Bloodline and War Games. I don't know if anything can overshadow that. I think they're going to give him a hometown welcome if he's in there, but I don't know. I don't know. The Bloodline's tough to beat. But let's keep moving on here. We got Finn Balor's mean streak on Raw. The promo with Damian Priest, Judgment Day, basically getting the upper hand on the Terror Twins. And then in the night, Finn Balor taking out Rey Mysterio. What do you guys make of that? Finn Balor's just trajectory. It looks like he's being taken seriously now.
Good. I mean,
I'll say it first. About time. It's been too long.
I was just saying, it is about time. When's the last time that Finn was actually booked this serious? I think the only thing I can think of is when he was a heel in NXT for his
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's the only time. I know some fans online are like screaming for heel demon, but I'm along the line with you guys now as far as the whole demon idea now, that it's better when he's a babyface that the demon needs to come out. I mean, I think a heel demon that's kind of hard to present because the demon itself is already very, very cool. So if you try to make it heel, I don't think it'll really connect. But as far as like character work goes for Finn Balor, now this, like I said, it's the best he's done since his heel run in NXT. I mean, that promo that they cut afterwards, showing that they attacked the LWO and that they took out Rey Mysterio and that they took out the Terror Twins. It was just like it's the first time you're just seeing Finn in this new light, and you're really seeing that like he's the leader of this group now. That he's kind of taking the reins and he's like the guy now. And I love the fact that they're presenting him like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see Finn kind of come out looking strong. I was like, okay, maybe we're getting a serious Finn back. Maybe we're, yeah, he's gonna. The only thing I didn't like about the segment was the, kind of like why Damien didn't just step in and start kicking his ass. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna let you say what you want to say, and then I'm gonna kick your ass. And then he's like, oh, you forget how the Judgment Day rolls, and then it was just
it's just like Damian Priest should be trying to chase down Finn, trying to kick his ass. It shouldn't be
like, if anything, he should have pulled what he did with Gunther and been like, let me say, and then just punch him in the face.
He's a babyface, Lewis. It's all about honor.
I guess.
I mean, I get that this was like, I guess, to give more time to Finn, but like, just that whole segment, I was like, this is like way too predictable.
He should be trying to chase Finn down in the Judgment Day, stopping him every turn.
Exactly. Like, he's like, hey, I almost got him, and then boom, they like, everybody tackles him at the same time out of nowhere or whatever. But who did the fact that he basically took out Ray,
and not Dominic. Hey man, I don't know, but at least Finn's getting on a mean streak. He's looking tough again. There's too much meat on the bone with Finn Balor to just have him having the frozen pizza.
He needs to lose
tag team titles. But no, we'll see what comes of it. Hopefully he continues to. Hopefully he gets a win. That's what I want. I want him to win a feud for once.
Yeah.
But let's keep going on here. We got the Wyatt Six downing American Made in a street fight again. What do you guys make of this? The Wyatt Six. I'm sorry. I like American Made, and I don't like the fact that they're losing. I don't like the fact that Chad Gable's losing either.
They're losing, but
I mean, he's not losing anything because it's tough seeing them lose. Mm-hmm.
It's not because this, like, as sad as it is to say, this group is right now as it is right now. Is very much a tribute group to Bray, and you're not going to have them lose.
I get it.
What I'm saying is right. It's. I know it's not your cup of tea and you don't like it, but it is a full-blown tribute to Bray, and you can't have this group lose off rip. But at the same time, I don't think American Made is looking weak. I feel like they're going toe-to-toe with them. But I think once they get past them, they should rack up some wins. I get that they're a new group. They should be made to look strong because they are strong. But they're not going to lose to Bray's tribute right now.
And I agree with Daniel on this one. It's hard from the standpoint because when American Alpha was first, when Alpha Academy, Alpha Academy was first breaking up. I think it was either me, Daniel, we were all screaming for them to pair up with the Creed brothers and form this group that we have right now with Ivy Nile. And it's just unfortunate right now that they're at the receiving end of the Wyatt Six, based upon everything that you just said about them being a Bray Wyatt tribute group, and because of that, it's almost unfathomable for them to lose. But it sucks because American Made is the expense of it, and this new stable can be effective if booked properly. But
I will say this. Even Ivy Nile looks good in the group, but I will say this. This is the best I've seen. This is the most I've been impressed with the Wyatt Six. It was chaos. They were in a street fight. I was fine with this. This was the best I've seen them. Nikki Cross, I've been waiting to get over for a long time. She looks great here. Uncle Howdy coming in the street fight kind of unfairly, unevening the odds. That just means that the American Made need to get Jason Jordan. That's all it is. Even the odds.
He's in the back. He's working the back.
He's a producer. He's an agent now. Oh man, there was so much potential with that guy. But
I will never forget the Kurt Angle son gimmick.
let's try to forget it.
Concussions are a motherfucker.
My dad.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
Maury storylines.
Yeah.
But let's keep moving on here. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre set for Hell in the Cell in a Hell in the Cell. What do you guys make of this? Who didn't see this coming? We've been saying for weeks that this was coming. Natural progression. They've been waiting to use that Hell in the Cell.
Okay, so I'm actually glad we brought this up because before we logged on, I was actually reading an article on Wrestling Inc. about it was about Bully Ray, and he was commenting on the decision for this match to be in Hell in a Cell, and he actually felt that I don't want to misquote him or anything, but he pretty much felt that Hell in a Cell wasn't the proper way to conclude the feud, because in Hell in a Cell, kind of like the cell itself is a character. And remember how I used to critique Hell in the Cell, saying that like Mick Foley was kind of like the gift and the curse of it, and how people like overly critique Hell in the Cell matches. Like if it's not on top of the cell, people automatically say the match sucks, even though everything in the cell was great. He felt that like maybe if you went like and go to like an I Quit match, that would have been just as serious. So I get what he's saying. But because the pay-per-view is Bad Blood, and because of the history, and because now Triple H has taken Hell in a Cell matches a lot more seriously now, that they're only for feuds that need them. I think you want to know what it is?
You want to know what it is? CM Punk missed 5-6 months. That's what it is, probably.
I mean, yeah. Think about it. If Punk didn't get hurt, do you think this would have like wrapped up? Would have already been wrapped up already at SummerSlam, maybe?
With Bad Blood hanging in the distance, I think they would have took it to Bad Blood. But I think SummerSlam could have been a different stipulation if it would have continued. Because you could have had an I Quit match, you could have had a Last Man Standing match. As I said, I thought the natural progression would have been a cage match. But because of Bad Blood, you kind of got to get the Hell in the Cell there. It's Bad Blood. You're bringing back Bad Blood. So I get it.
There's got to be blood.
We're definitely going to see it.
And Hell in a Cell.
We're definitely going to see it. Let's continue on here. We got Jey Uso becoming the number one contender for the IC title. We've been wanting this for a while now. Feel like Jey Uso, he's been in that tag team division for a long time. And it seems like this is the natural progression for him to be in the Intercontinental title picture. What do you guys make of that match, and what do you guys make of him facing Braun Breaker at some point?
All right. So, the Fatal 4-Way in of itself was a very good match. I mean, they kind of telegraphed that Jey Uso was going to win over the last couple of weeks, with the fact that Jey Uso and Braun Breaker have had these backstage segments where Braun Breaker is pretty much saying that, like, yeah, a member of your family has never beaten a member of my family, and they pretty much have been alluding to it. They had Braun Breaker interacting with each member to try to kind of like get away from the obvious that Jey Uso was going to come out on top. But it was a very good match. We all know who more than likely is going to come out on top. Yeah. Now, it'd be very nice if the Bloodline is the reason why Jey Uso doesn't win the title again. I can easily picture a scenario where Solo or the Solo Jacob or Tama Tonga or one of them gets involved and costs Jey the title. I mean, apparently this past Tuesday on NXT, the bloodline was there, and they called havoc in the tag.
Yeah, they did. I just saw that. Yeah, they did go to NXT, and
they're out there. They're all over the place. So I can picture them easily doing something like that. But good for Jey Uso, and hopefully this will be satisfying enough for his father Rikishi, who's suggesting that he goes to AEW.
I just wanted to bring up that Bad Blood poster. That's a kick-ass poster. Yeah.
Kick-ass poster. Yep, there's your main event.
Kick-ass poster from WWE.
That's the main event right there.
What was I gonna say? Jay winning is great. I thought the match was great. Everybody that was in it was great. I love that spot of Bronson Reed coming back and taking out Braun. Make him look super duper strong. They should definitely have a match at Bad Blood because it just fits it perfectly.
Why not?
There's a lot of matches that should happen at Bad Blood.
I wanted to say something about that, but Louis, go ahead and finish. I just want to say something.
I thought it was a great showing. I would love to see Jay finally get a singles title. But again,
is he beating Braun Breaker?
Huh?
Is he beating Braun Breaker? Is that what you're
not
saying?
at all. He's too good right now. And funny enough, even though he's a heel, he's still getting a pop. Especially in backstage reactions. As soon as people see him, the barking, the hoo hoo hoo, and you hear it everywhere. So it's like, even though he's a heel, a lot of people are behind him right now, and they want to see him win. So I see him having a lengthy reign. And I don't see him losing that title soon.
Not at all. But great showing from Raw. Let's wrap it up here. Let's see what you guys think about Monday Night Raw going to 2 hours on October 7th until the end of their duration with USA Network. What do you guys make of that?
Okay, so I'm going to try to understand this. I actually tried to look into this. So I think what happened was the current deal that Monday Night Raw had, that currently had right now, was going to expire this month. And then they signed the deal for Netflix, but that's not until January. So because that deal ended, they needed to fill it. Obviously, they need to have Raw for those last 3 months leading into Netflix, and then they came up with this deal, which is pretty much two hours of Raw until we get to Netflix. Where I guess when they get to Netflix, time is not going to be an issue, obviously. But
I have a question. Why didn't they just go to Netflix?
Remember, that's a brand new thing. The live content on Netflix. I don't know. Gotcha. I'm assuming there's probably like a whole process with Netflix and WWE right now where they're trying to like test things out, trying to figure out like, okay, if we go live, are we gonna have commercials? How are we gonna factor in our sponsors? Like, I'm pretty sure they're working all that shit out right now as we speak.
Making the Marine 27.
Yeah, they like all that.
Maybe
stop WWE Studios. Maybe.
I mean, from what I read on the dirt sheets, when they initially agreed to have Raw on for 2 hours for the next 3 months, I think initially Peacock was on the table as well too. That put Raw on Peacock. But I think Peacock wasn't willing to pay the extra value to have Monday Night Raw on, so they had to stick with USA. At least that's what the dirt sheets report. But Monday Night Raw going back to 2 hours. I mean, obviously count us in. I think one of the reasons why we struggle as we get older now is that 3 hours of anything is tough unless it's live sports.
Yeah.
So good for Raw going back to 2 hours. The only thing that's going to probably suck about it is now that all that talent. You used to having 3 hours of content to fill. Now you lose an hour, so that means some guys might get lost in the shuffle now.
Like Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah, exactly. So groups like that we complain about, but yeah, they're not gonna have that TV time anymore. Which also means you're probably gonna have shorter matches now for the 2 hours if they're trying to like cram everything into 2 hours. But
I think that's fine because I feel like some of the stuff on Raw isn't needed all the time, and it's a good way to change things up, give people a little bit more, maybe time off, maybe some other promotional things that they can go do, but I think it's going to be all right. I like it. I get to go to sleep earlier on Monday nights. I don't have to stay up until 11.
Yeah,
I can go enjoy my night.
I don't know if just because Raw's always been 3 hours, I feel like I think it's either gonna Jesus.
Need some water.
See, this is a prime example why going back to 2 hours is a good thing, because this is exactly how we be when it's 3 hours. We be tired, we be out of it. Like,
I think the 3 hours is necessary because it gives people the time. You cut that time, that cuts stories, that cuts matches, that cuts a lot of stuff down. There's a lot. I feel like WWE's been in the point right now where a lot of subtle storytelling has been happening. Whether it's backstage segments, people walking by, people talking, or stuff. People are like, "Oh shit, what are they doing with them back there? Is this person going to join that person?" Like, I think all those things are very important. That the 3 hours definitely helps build all these stories. And now you're getting rid of a whole hour. It's like less people on TV. Could this result in could it result in people getting released because not being utilized, or there's a lot of downside to it as well.
I mean, I think they should use this to build up the mid card, build up the women's division, build up these other storylines that you can have. The tag team division needs more attention.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think they should try to use these 2 hours to build up those divisions. The world title doesn't have to be on TV all the time. You know what I mean? So I think there's other avenues that they can use to give some people some rest, and really reevaluate some things and kind of give a little bit more attention to stuff that's needed on TV week to week. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But that will do it for episode 78 of Ring Takes, man.
All right, Daniel. Before
go ahead.
So this coming Friday's episode of SmackDown. It's on first SmackDown on USA.
Yes, it is.
Yes, on USA. Now I don't know this for sure, but is that show going to be 3 hours, or is it going to be just a regular 2 hour SmackDown?
I think they did say they were going to try to do something, right? Like SmackDown might be 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, because I heard some report saying that there's a lot of surprises planned, and because of that, they're thinking about doing 3 hours. And I'm thinking, well, if it's 3 hours, then it can't start at 8, can it?
It's starting at 8.
No, it has to start at 7 then, right? I mean, it's USA, but at the same time, it's like that's 8 o'clock. That's 8 o'clock on a Friday.
I think they have a little wiggle room there because they're not competing against anything right now. There's no basketball. I think football might be on Friday. I don't know, but I think they're trying.
I think that was just. I mean, they're probably going to be future Fridays, but I think
I didn't know if that was a one-off with that game in Brazil between the Packers and Eagles, but it's just like I think there's a little wiggle room there for 3 hours on SmackDown.
Like I think they're definitely doing a Friday game on Black Friday in November. That's definitely happening. Maybe a couple Fridays in December, but I think September and October mostly not so much.
Yeah, hopefully it's not. Yeah, we don't need more wrestling. I don't need 2 3 hour shows. I don't need that. Sorry, WWE. I love your product. Love what you guys are doing, but no. But yeah, that will do it for this episode of Ring Takes, episode 78. Coming off the heels of All Out, we're moving on to the road to Bad Blood, so we'll see how that's going. We got to talk NXT as well because NXT is doing some great things down there too as well. So we got to talk about that.
I haven't watched this week's episode yet, but from what I've seen, NXT is on fire with some of the shit, with some of the stuff.
Another TNA wrestler makes an appearance. That's all I'm going to say.
Julia had her first match.
Mm-hmm. Like they're doing. Funaki's back.
Funaki. Oh yeah, I love Funaki. SmackDown number 1. Oh no, it's I love it.
But that will do it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining me, and until next time.